A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. If you need a website or a domain, go to squarespace.com/James for 10% off your first purchase. That is a ginormous iceberg. Incredible. One of my favourite things to do, by the way. I sit up here with a coffee and wait for the landscapes to come to me. Much more convenient and less cold than being outside. I cannot tell you how excited I feel to go and photograph that abandoned weather station over there. They've just sent a scout boat out and I'm hoping that they don't find a polar bear, which is exactly the opposite of how I felt for the whole trip to date. But there's something about abandoned places that I want to photograph more than anything else, including polar bears. What an incredible looking place. Can you imagine yourself being stationed here in 1949? Imagine the storms that roll through. Crazy. Also, actually, I was thinking this morning while I was replying to some comments from a video that I uploaded a few weeks back. Do you remember the one where I pretended to shoot film, a roll of film? Not my best video, I don't think, by a long stretch, but I got a lot of people via email and comments saying that they think I should at least try film properly. But one of the reasons I'm absolutely terrified of doing so is because when I last came here to East Greenland, I had a card failure in the kind of place that I'm very unlikely to be able to return to time and time again. I mean, I'm here again now, but in a different area. And so now, even the prospect of shooting on a single SD card makes me feel very, very nervous. And so, yeah, the prospect of shooting on film and something going wrong on that single roll of film, I don't know, it terrifies me, even though the whole sort of analogue aspect of it intrigues me. Maybe the solution is that I should shoot film in places where I know I can continuously return. But not places like this. No. Well, that was pretty cool, as is this fog that's rolling in, which was the reason that we've had to come back to the ship. Kind of feels like a big shame to visit a place like that and have so little sense of the history and what all the buildings are for. I think Nigel mentioned that one of them he thought was a greenhouse, but aside from that, I don't know. But yeah, 1949, folks were there. Just imagine. I don't think I did a very good job of explaining just how remote that place is. Basically, it's between two settlements. One of them is Tizilak, where I was 5 or 6 years ago, and it's hundreds of miles from either of them. And the bit of reading that I did online about that weather station told me that it was manned between 1949 and 1979, with an average of 7 non-Greenlanders stationed there at any one time. Imagine being there for that amount of time. I mean, I don't think it was the same 7 people constantly. I imagine they did 6 months, year-long stints. Still, just amazing. Anyway, I was going to talk about film.
wasn't I? So the more experienced I've gotten as a photographer, the more the years have gone on, the less I care about things like sharpness and colour accuracy, and the more I care about the feeling of my images. And that is what occupies my mind when I'm editing nowadays. And that's what I love about film photography, I think. The fact that you make an editorial decision about the feeling of your photos before you've even taken them, because you have to choose your film stock. And for the many reasons I've said on this channel before and in this video, I could never see myself shooting film, because I could go to a place like that and just spend the whole time between taking the photos and getting home panicking that something had happened to the film, either through airport scanners or me being clumsy. But yeah, unless it was possible to shoot with 2 rolls of film at once, which I don't imagine it is physically possible. Maybe I should look into that. I can't see myself being comfortable going somewhere like that and shooting film. And also, I don't think you need to. Lots of people talk about how they shoot film because they love the look of film, but literally any look is replicable in digital photography. And lots of people say, no, it's not. But I mean, it is. You could literally change pixel by pixel a digital file to be exactly the same colour as a film scan. And I mean, that would take a long time. But you get my point. Anything can be achieved digitally. But yeah, I do like this trend that many photographers are heading towards, which is less perfection, colour accuracy and all that stuff, and more feeling in your photos. Anyway, waffling on now. Here's some more icebergs.
Can't believe how much light is in there. Yeah, it's just insane.
That one was the nicest iceberg I've ever seen. I couldn't believe the colour of it. Mesmerising. Although in fact, actually, true to form with my other trips to Greenland, it saved the best till last for us, because as we were heading for open water, we came across this massive tabular iceberg, which I think actually was the same one from the start of this video, but it was in entirely different conditions, so we did a circumnavigation of it in the ship, and what a way to leave Greenland. And also, I'd just forgotten about the mountain ranges there, and it's kind of like looking at Chamonix, but imagine that goes on for just hundreds or thousands of miles. Just these jaggedy peaks, on and on and on, that probably nobody has climbed in many cases. Madness. Anyway, big thank you for watching, much appreciated. If you would like to come with us on a trip like this next year, then link in the description. But aside from that, a big thank you to the sponsor of this week's video, Squarespace. So if you're a photographer, you need a portfolio, and if you need a portfolio, I think you need a Squarespace website. Now, there are so many different templates to choose from that enable you to display your images exactly as you wish. Mine is called Wells. I've been using it for the past 6 or 7 years, I think, and it's absolutely perfect for what I want. I can sequence images really quickly and easily. I can choose how big they appear. I can decide how they appear on different devices. And ultimately, it's the only place I have online where I get to choose exactly how people see my work, and that is crucial to any photographer, I think. And it's not just portfolios. If you want a blog or an online store or somewhere to send newsletters from, Squarespace absolutely nails that too. If you'd like to start a free trial, then just go to squarespace.com, and after that, if you'd like to make a purchase, go to squarespace.com/James and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. And so a huge thank you to Squarespace for their continued support of this channel and for making fantastic products. Yeah, I've pointed there, that's not my website. Let me bring up my website. There we go. Perfect. Need to put some Greenland images here. Anyway, I'll see you next time when I'll probably be shooting film. It's a joke. Although, I have this old Russian camera, look at this, made in the USSR, that's come to me through my family, and I've downloaded a manual online. Shutter works. So maybe I'll use this at some point. Might be a cool video.